Hello everyone, I am Zumie Fiasco, and these are 9 common mistakes new players make in Red Dead Online. Now before we get started, be sure and go into the comments below and let me know how much gold and cash you currently have in Red Dead Online. I want to see who has the most money. Now with that said, let's get started. Alright everyone, Red Dead Online is here and it's as huge and ambitious as Red Dead Redemption 2. It also requires learning some new things even if you've invested dozens of hours into the campaign. I'm going to help you by giving you these 9 common mistakes new players make so that you can avoid them and have the best experience possible.
You all run away, aside from you.
Now the first mistake I want to talk about that is very common among players online is that they rush through the character creator in the beginning. Now you need to make sure you take your time with this because you are going to be stuck with this character. As of right now, there's no feature allowing you to change your appearance once you start your game. You have to delete your character and start over. So make sure you choose a male or a female, and depending on what you choose, that's what you're stuck with, because you cannot have 2 characters as of yet in Red Dead Online. Now it is a beta and this is subject to change, but for right now, make absolutely sure the appearance is exactly how you want it, or you're going to have that thing in the back of your mind saying, oh man, I don't really want to grind any more missions because I'm not satisfied with how I look and I want to change my character. Well, you can't. So make sure you have it right, make sure you have it the way you want. A good tip I have for you when you're creating your character is be sure and use the scales on all the facial features and get it exactly how you want it. Tune it just right, make sure you're rotating your character's face so you see a side profile, and also make sure you set all of the settings to neutral before cycling through the heads, because then you can get the best average look and you won't end up looking like an alien. Now it kind of goes without saying that most online games are better played with friends instead of being solo. In this case, it is definitely true. Playing solo is really hard in Red Dead Online. Talk about difficulty. Honestly, you're going to come across several posses in this game, and it's really annoying because you are alone and you have no one there to back you up. By posses, I mean other players that have ganged up to take on missions together and watch each other's backs. For you though, being solo, this can be a pain because when you're trying to do missions, you're going to have all the players in the server alerted to you doing a mission, and all of them can intervene and miss you up and stop you, but if you have someone there to watch your back, it makes things a lot easier. The best thing to do is invite a couple friends to your server, go to camp, or just pull up your menu and start a posse. What you do in a sense is you just gang up and you're able to take on missions together, earn more XP, more cash, and also watch each other's backs, and it makes things so much easier. So don't make the mistake of playing solo. If you have to, you can manage, but I would really consider it a mistake if you choose to play solo early on. Now after ganging up with friends and taking on a couple missions, you'll finally come to an option to get some new horses. You're going to have to buy horses in Red Dead Online. Technically, insurance lets your horse automatically recover over time if it's critically injured. Practically, the horse you buy won't die and disappear forever. It'll heal in time. If an uninsured horse dies, you will have to pay to heal them at the stable every single time something happens. But if you have insurance, there's no fee. So make sure after you get ganged up and you get some money going, you get a new horse, make sure you buy an insurance plan for it because you don't want to have to keep paying for it to get it healed up and get it out of the stable. It's a great policy, but you have to purchase it for each horse you own, and the cost appears to be based on the horse's quality. If you've got a really good horse, it's going to cost you a ton in gold bars, but it's honestly worth it because you don't want to have to keep paying a set amount each time something happens. It's pretty common for your horse to get shot when doing missions, and it's really annoying to keep having to pay out of pocket for that. So just get the insurance, avoid that mistake, trust me, you won't regret it. So after talking about the insurance cost and things like that, I want to talk money with you guys, and I'm talking early money, the money you start out with. Don't waste it on cosmetics early. That's a big common mistake new players make. They rush to a barbershop or they rush to a general store as soon as they get in game and they can free roam, and they try to get their hair cut. And Valentine and Saint Denis, wherever they can go, they try to get a haircut, they try to get something cosmetic, and you do not want to do that early on. As you'll come to find out, haircuts are very expensive and you don't want to waste your starting cash on something like that. Just make sure you get your character looking good as soon as you come out of the creator, put a hat on, something like that to cover up your hair for the meantime, but save your money, don't waste it on hair and stuff early on. Another common and small mistake that players make when playing Red Dead Online is that they ignore the award system. It feels like basically everything you do in Red Dead Online will eventually lead to an award. Picking plants earns you an award. Eating plants earns you an award. Shooting people earns you an award. and awards become belt buckles, which are cosmetic, but oh, are they awesome and fancy. So you guys, do not ignore the awards feature. Check out the pause menu, navigate to it, check out the survivalist awards, for example. They give you something to grind for, something to unlock, and something to do. Apart from ignoring award unlocks, people are also making the common mistake of ignoring the honor system. Now, I don't really understand why people are really not paying attention to this, because it seriously influences your experience in Red Dead Online. The more honorable you are and the better actions you take and perform, the more your honor will go up and increase, influencing the missions that you actually get. For example, if you have good honor, you might be prompted with a mission to escort a stagecoach, whereas if you're an outlaw and you have bad honor or no honor, for example, you're actually going to be the one chasing the stagecoach down to rob it. This really influences your experience in Red Dead Online, and you do not want to ignore it. Make sure that you're performing actions that you only want to perform, because they will influence your game. So you've completed some big missions early on, you're starting to accrue some cash, you're playing with friends, you're out free roaming, and you want to buy something cosmetic or you want to buy a new horse. Don't forget about your camp. You can also upgrade your camp to support a fast travel system, and you can also craft and cook things there and have access to your wardrobe. You can also go to your camp and raise the white flag to be in the equivalent of a passive mode to GTA Online, where players cannot shoot at you and you can just do your thing and take a break from the game. Now, don't forget, you do need cash to upgrade your camp, so don't waste it all. That is a mistake you don't want to make, and it's common, so just avoid forgetting about camp and make sure you keep that in the back of your mind while you're playing. Common mistake number 8 is a little bit more opinion oriented, so fair warning on that. Take this with a grain of salt, but I think as a new player, it is a common mistake to see players going in with the sole purpose of griefing other players and just immediately jumping in to kill other players. This is annoying being the one receiving it, but it also doesn't benefit you being the one doing it. All it does is decrease your honor, it doesn't get you any money, you're wasting your ammo, you're going to have to spend money to get your ammo back, your horse might get shot in a gunfight or two, and you're going to be without a horse early on, so griefing is just all around toxic and not fun. Now, there are a couple things implemented by Rockstar to try to prevent this. After 4 kills, you have 2 options. 1, parley. When one player triggers this mode, you'll end up face to face with your foe, but you won't be able to use your weapons. You're left with 10 minutes to talk through your problems with your words and not your guns. Number 2, feud. Both players have to opt into feuds. If both players accept, they're thrown into a 3-minute player versus player shootout. Whoever gets the highest kill count wins, which is the equivalent to GTA Online Deathmatch, and both players have to accept it. So these 2 things don't really fix it. I mean, griefing is still a big part of these types of games, and if you're the one griefing, I just feel like it's a mistake because you're not really getting immersed in the game. There's so many things you can do in Red Dead Online, and as the player being griefed, it's even worse. So just don't do it. It's a common mistake new players make, so in my opinion, you shouldn't do it. So now that you've left me a comment down below letting me know how much money you have in Red Dead Online and how rich you are, basically bragging rights, I want to know what you think of Red Dead Online as a whole. I want to know what you hate about it, and I want to know what you love about it. I personally think it has a lot of potential, and I haven't played enough to really say if I like it or don't like it, but I'm leaning more towards like. Now, this is a beta, and that leads me to our last mistake that new players are making, and that is that they are being impatient. People are seemingly ignoring the fact that Red Dead Online is in a beta phase. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that GTA Online never had a beta, and it just launched as a final product. GTA Online was so bad when it first launched. They promised so many things and countless trailers, and almost none of it was given to us at launch. Later on, GTA Online made progress and released things that were promised to us, but Red Dead Online hasn't made any promises yet, and they haven't even had a trailer for Red Dead Online up at Rockstar. So I'm wondering, and I'm really curious as to what they're doing with this beta and what they're using it for. I know some things are subject to change, but this version of the beta, this version of Red Dead Online, if you will, it feels pretty complete. I think right now what they're trying to do is get all the exploits ironed out for cash and gold. So don't grind too hard, don't put your whole life into this game. Keep in the back of your mind that this game could be reset, as it is in a beta phase and it's not the final product. And that is it for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget to leave your comments down below about how rich you are and what you think of Red Dead Online so far. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more content. I hope to see you all in the next one. Later.
Kill the wrong goddamn bastard. Well, I never.
Well, these things happen, Lee. In fact, they happen more often than we like to admit.